This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Doris Garcia sends it. Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season. With an absolute to left field. It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live, the final A's Cast Live of the first half. Then after this, Cody's going on vacation. So since Cody was going on vacation and he's worked hard this first half, I said, you know what? Fine, this will be our last show. In honor of you and your vacation, this will be the last time we do A's Cast Live for the first half.
I'm looking forward to going to see the A's and Phillies play tomorrow in Philly.
Well, we're worried about your vacation and your mental health and everything that you do for this organization. So we want to make sure that you have no anxiety, no stress, nothing heading into the break.
We will have. I'm working on it.
But it's for you. I just want everybody to know it's for you.
What about Hawaii?
I only booked it after I knew you were taking the vacation.
You were going to grind through the All-Star break?
Oh, I wanted to do the show during the All-Star break. I was thinking about we could break down every top All-Star game in the history of baseball. One by one, frame by frame.
Break down the draft? Full draft?
Break down the draft where you get every pick. Once we do every pick, we break down every pick. You didn't want to do that with the draft?
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. For some reason, we're not on Twitter, so I'm going to try to fix that real quick.
Why is that such an issue every day?
Because I have to. There's the way I have to do it because of the settings we have to use.
Why can't all of these different platforms just work together and make it easy? Why can't they do that? By the way, we have a phenomenal show for you today. The last Mark Kotsay show of the first half, where we will be talking about the All-Star game. We'll be talking about Mason Miller. We'll be talking about Mark Kotsay going to his first All-Star game, going to be on the staff for Bruce Bochy. And then, of course, he's hoping to have Brent Rooker on that flight. They're going to hitch a ride with the Philadelphia Phillies from Philly to Arlington. And hopefully Brent Rooker will be there.
Yeah,
guys are being replaced as we speak. You find out from Mark Kotsay that the coaches have no decision-making power in this. This is not Bruce Bochy going, hey, Kotz, what do you think? Should we get old Rook on the Major League Baseball is like in full control of everything. Like they're in control of the rosters. So who just bowed out? It was Altuve just bowed out?
Yeah, Altuve's out. So now it's Willie Castro. The Twins replaced him. Hold on. Willie Castro is replacing him. And apparently Yordan Alvarez has some hip issue, and he's a starting DH in the All-Star game. So maybe that means that we'll see Brent Rooker replace him if he bows out of the game.
Well, for your sake and the hot take sake, my hot take, I don't address the hot take with Kotz because I don't think Kotz cares about my little hot take game I've been playing on Tuesday. But my hot take is alive because Mark Kotsay, having talked to Bruce Bochy, Mason Miller is going to be in this game. What I didn't realize is that Major League Baseball may be setting the lineups. You always thought it was the managers, and I bet years ago it was always the managers. Or maybe it had. I mean, I don't know. But it sounds like not even the manager sets the lineup for the All-Star game that baseball does. And maybe they set up, for the most part, the rotation of who's going to play and who doesn't. How about that? Didn't know that. You always thought, oh, it's a skipper. And if someone didn't play, It's Bobby Cox's fault the guy didn't play. Well, maybe not. I don't know when this started happening, but I think it's interesting how Major League Baseball is running the entire show when it comes to the All-Star game.
It's kind of like the World Series. Remember they told you you can have your roof open or not have it open? Right, that wasn't the thing last year. Texas and Phoenix.
Correct. Yeah, they both told Texas and Arizona, yeah, we want the roof open. But who plays in the game? How that works? The lineup, who's going to be there? Years ago, I know the manager of the team did it. But obviously, these guys, if you're someone like Bruce Bochy and you got all these games coming up, you've got, what is today? Thursday, Friday,
yeah.
Saturday, Sunday. The last thing you want to be thinking about is the all-star roster. You got your own issues with your own roster. So it makes sense. Julian McWilliams is going to join us at 1:30 from the Boston Globe. Remember, Julian covered the team, the A's, for The Athletic, went back home. A's, got to tell you, got a good shot today. They got a good shot to take 2 out of 3. Great game last night. That game was fantastic. J.P. Sears, seeing Lawrence Butler get it going.
On his birthday.
On his 24th birthday. Tanner Houck, by the way, has not been good lately. First 14 starts for the Red Sox at 2.08 ERA. His last 4 starts, Andrew Bailey, your guy has a 5.40. Remember, Boston got off to that just incredible fast start with their starting pitchers. And they've been red hot, the best team in baseball since June 12th. And they spin it more than anybody else. The question was, how would it last all season long?
Yeah, because it was him. Cutter Crawford was really good.
Cutter Crawford's been getting drilled lately.
Yeah, and there was talks for a while that Tanner Houck could be there. People were like, he could start the All-Star game. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore, but
not with a 5.40 ERA in your last 4 starts.
Yeah, I think he's out of consideration for that.
Jonathan Mayo from MLB.com will be here at 2:30 to talk about the draft. You really don't want to sit around and talk about the draft while the draft's going on? Come back from your vacation early and break down the 3 kids from Wake Forest who are going in the first round?
You don't want to break down our pick at 4. It could be anyone.
A catcher? Are we taking a catcher?
I don't think we're going to take a catcher this year. We might be taking a middle infielder if he's there, either one. I don't know what David Force is thinking. He did say all the names I gave him the last time we talked to him. Those were on his list. I gave him all the top guys, so I hope they were on the list.
So you went to a mock draft, took the top guys, and then gave it to the GM. Said, "Are these the guys?"
The only guy that wasn't in the mock for us was recently because he got hurt was Braden Montgomery.
No, but the guys you told David Forrest.
Kurtz, he's kind of fallen, but yeah, pretty much. It was all the guys everyone has.
You went chalk. You didn't give him like hey, David, this is a name that's not on everybody's board.
Yeah, no.
You just regurgitated other people's information to the GM.
The one guy I do like is the lefty pitcher from Mississippi State, Hagen Smith.
So you like a pitcher and you're not even sure where he went to school.
I just know he's a lefty and his name's Hagen Smith. He's in the SEC.
You like him so much you don't even know where he's from.
Hagen's Arkansas. I think he's from the SEC. He was actually really good for Arkansas.
So you really like a guy that you didn't know at school he pitched at, but you knew he was good for some school.
He has the mental makeup to be a good major league starter.
You're such a phony. The draft phonies are so unbelievable. I really like this guy. Where did he play? Mississippi State. No, Arkansas. I just know he was good. I like him.
He went to some SEC school.
How many times do you say, I never saw him pitch? I just read about it, and it sounds good.
By the way, we were joking. Speaking of another SEC pitcher, Derek Shelton, our good friend, has pulled Paul Skenes after 7 no-hit innings.
Wow. Paul Skenes has a no-no going today. We were following it, and as we're walking in, he gets through 6, so we come into the studio. He gets through 7, and they pulled him? Wow. A no for Paul Skenes, because God knows. How many pitches was he at?
99.
How many pitches would he throw at LSU?
Probably over 100. I don't know. I didn't really watch a lot of. He was their Friday night starter, but
Yeah.
I think he won 7 innings, 99 pitches, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts.
Because this is going to really affect him for the next couple of years. So stupid. Now, you know what will be golden is now Paul Skenes. And by the way, the Mark Kotsay show at 3 o'clock. If Paul Skenes, because he went 7 innings on a Thursday, will now not be able to participate in the All-Star game on Tuesday when he should be the starter of the All-Star game.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he's on turn like 5 days, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Tuesday will be 5 days. But who knows? Pirates could be like, you know what? We're going to go that extra rest. We got to keep.
He had to go 7 innings, 99 pitches. He needs 2 weeks off.
We need to push. They're going to push him back. Push back his next start coming out of the All-Star break probably too.
But you know what? The crazy thing is how everybody is going to buy into it. That might be the worst part of it all. How everybody will go, yep, sounds right. 100 pitches, not even 100 pitches, 99 pitches. He's got a no-hitter. He's got to come out to protect his future. When there's no scientific evidence that you are protecting anything for Paul Skenes long-term. There's none.
Yeah.
Like, who came up with 100? Why is it not 105? Why is it not 95? Why is it not 97? Why is it not 107? Why is it the even round number of 100? And everybody uses it, yet there is no – if we're going to live in a world of data –
yeah, we've never gotten an answer from that either. Like,
I've never gotten an answer. Like, why is it 100? Sounds good. I mean, obviously, you're going with the theory the more you play, the more wear and tear you put on your body. But they're acting like anything over 100 pitches, I'm harming this guy's career. That's what I want people to understand. They act and they sell to us that once you go over the 100 mark, which I could bring on A's legend Dave Stewart, who not only did it and was a pitching coach and was a general manager, he'll tell you it's all full of you know what. But yet we all just buy it. We just buy it. Like our guy Derek Shelton will come on after and go, we pulled him, 99 pitches. This game's important, but so is this kid's future. I guarantee you after the game, he'll talk about Paul Skenes' future, and we're all sheep, and we all go, okay. When you're like, wait a minute, this guy's 6 what?
Great question. 6'5",
6'6".
He's a big kid.
He's a massive kid.
He is.
Who's built
6'6".
He's 6'6", built like a Mack truck. He's been throwing for years. And you're now saying in his young prime that you're gonna hold him to 99 pitches because if he went 110, oh God. There's no evidence to that. It's crazy. It's crazy. By the way, we do have one of the most A's moves ever in the history of the A's that's going to happen today. I think we didn't get to talk to Mark Kotsay about that because obviously it was, we taped him earlier today, but the lineup was delayed. There has been a move made, and we maybe have the most A's move ever in this from when Billy Beane took over to David Forst, then grabbing the reins and Beane being advisor. This may be the most, from the Forst Beane era, maybe the last most A's move ever before this team leaves town.
So Tyler Soderstrom first.
Brace yourself for this. You can't you literally woke up this morning and you couldn't even envision this.
The A's placed first baseman / catcher Tyler Soderstrom on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to July 10th yesterday, with left wrist bone bruise, and selected outfielder Seth Brown from AAA Las Vegas. Brownie.
Okay, this is not Brownie being selected. We all knew it would happen.
I mean,
we joked about it. We all knew it would happen. That's not the most A's move ever. What he's about to tell you next is maybe the last most A's force bean type move in this organization's history before it leaves town.
Seth Brown is in the lineup hitting 6th, playing first base.
First base. You sent him down. He goes down to Las Vegas. Brownie find his stroke. He's 31 years old. Love Seth Brown, great guy. But you're like, wait a minute, aren't we going with younger guys? Isn't this time to kind of like find out what's going on? And not only do you bring Seth Brown back, you immediately put him in the lineup. And you put him at first base, where we are on game number 95. He has not started one game at first base this year. And you're going to tell us it's all about winning. You're going to tell us all we care about is winning. And you're going to start a guy in the infield, Fenway Park. You're trying to take 2 out of 3. I'm just talking through it, right? If you're telling me you really want to win, because I'm all about, I rather find the future and try and win. But you keep telling me, nope, it's about winning. So you're going to sell to me that it's all about winning, and you're going to bring up Seth Brown in the 95th game of the year. You've only had him go to first base twice this season. Hasn't started a game. You're now going to start. You're going to bring him back and then start him at first base. That is the most A's move ever. And nobody is going to have to. I mean, Mark Kotsay is going to be asked about it, but no one's going to have to stand up for that decision other than Kotz. That is just that's mind blowing.
How can I was going to say, who do you put at first? But I guess you could put Nevin there. Lawrence Butler's played first, I believe.
You've had Alvarez play there.
Alvarez. I mean, in Brownie's defense, he was hitting .403 with 7 homers in Vegas. Ball was flying. The ball was exploding off his bat, as I quote the scouts from Moneyball.
According to my sources who saw some of these home runs, they were Vegas style home runs.
Oh, they weren't. They were PCL specials.
Yes. But okay. Put him in right. He's not in right. He's at first base, where he hasn't played all year long, except when were the games that he played at first base?
It just said 2 games. I didn't look to see when. Let me see if I can find that. It just said he appeared in 2 games at first base this year for the A's. It was, I think, 17 last year, and it was 13 starts at first last year. But if I remember correctly, I don't remember him playing. It doesn't say when.
And he's batting 6th.
Yeah, I don't remember when he was playing. I don't remember if he played first at all in spring training this year.
I don't think he played at first base in spring training.
Well, because it would have been Noda and I
just remember we talked about that. So literally, he's played first base at some point twice in the last 6 months. Hey, Wash, is it hard to play first base?
It's incredibly hard.
So you're putting a guy out there who's played sparingly, and that is an exaggeration. Sparingly in the last, I don't know, back to last September. Go back to last September. Seth Brown has played first base twice, where he's just been in part of some games. That's it. And now he's going to come back from Las Vegas. How much did he play in Las Vegas?
Oh, good question, because notice I'm playing a lot of outfield. I'd have to go back and actually look at the game logs where he was actually playing. I assumed he'd be playing.
But it's about winning, bro.
Yeah.
It's about winning. Get Seth Brown back up here, get him in the lineup now, and put him at first base. But I'm the idiot who comes on after the games and say, Play the young guys. Play the young guys. That's your future. That's what smart is. You play the guys who could be your future. Is Seth Brown your future at 31 years old? No one's trading for him right now. Nothing he can do from here on out is going to get him traded.
So I went back to the game on July 1st when Brownie went 3 for 5 with 6 runs batted in. He was playing center field that day in Vegas. First base that day was Carlos Perez was playing first base in Vegas. That was on July 1st. That's when I went back to. July 1st. Or are we July 11th? So 10 days ago.
Center field. They just did a thing on the weakest arms in the outfield. Guess who was on that?
Brownie?
Brown.
Or Sarge or whatever.
His athleticism isn't the same. He doesn't move the same. I don't need StatCast to tell me that. You're putting him in center field, and now you're bringing him back. Yeah. So a guy that you had playing center field in AAA, you're now having, and is that a different game there?
This was Saturday, so it looks like his last game because he was 0 for 4 and went down to 403. He was playing center field that day too. So Saturday was
a guy that you had playing center field in AAA, you bring immediately back up and say, did you bring your first baseman's glove? Go right at it. And then you're going to tell me it's all about still trying to win games.
I don't know how to spin it. The only thing
I don't know how you spin it.
The only thing
I don't know how you spin it.
You said it already, but the only thing you could think of maybe is they're trying to get something for him. But
what?
I mean, when I listened to Power Hour later, they were talking about trade candidates. And of course, they go through the same couple guys with us, and then they're like, Brown could be available. I think it was Duquette that said that. Duke was like, Brown's probably available.
Yeah, but Duquette just throws these names out there. It's like they just throw names. It's like they're filling content. They're filling time. They have no idea what they're doing.
I wonder if he knew Brown was in AAA.
They act like Lucas Ursig. Mike Farron, our buddy, acts like Lucas Ursig's been Mariano Rivera. Oh, yeah, Ursig. Like, have you seen the numbers? I mean, even Mason Miller's numbers. Gave it to you the other day. Mason Miller has like a 4 ERA, other than yesterday, had like a 4 ERA in X amount of last outings. No one's been lights out. I'm root for the ball club always. But just when you do a move like that, it's like, and maybe the curse of A's Cast and A's Cast Live, he'll go out and have a huge game, right? Make us look like idiots. But you immediately bring him back up. You immediately put him in the lineup. You put him in the 6 hole, batting 189 with a wait for it, 557 OPS.
In his defense, not a lot of guys on our lineup have a good OPS.
550. You're not even 600.
Yeah, the league average, right? I looked it up before we came on the air. The league average in OPS this year, because I updated the pitching numbers. We had a new pitcher debut, so we're at 714 now. The league OPS is 708 right now. That's what the league OPS is. Well below.
He's way below. And then I just want to see the OPS plus. It's 61.
Yeah. League average is 100.
61.
So
like what justifies him playing center field in AAA? And then what justifies him immediately coming back, hitting 6 and playing first base? And you're honestly saying you're trying to win.
Maybe this means I don't know.
I don't get it.
Maybe we see. We can only say it so much, but maybe we'll see Jacob Wilson after the All-Star break by the end of July.
What this move today is just puzzling. First base. 90. What I say was 95th game of the year. You're playing a guy at first base for the first time this year. Now, if he was 22, 23, all right. But you're 31 years old, and Brown has played a pretty decent threat, but he didn't play. You had no plans. He didn't play in spring training. And now you're going to roll him out there in a game at Fenway Park when you have a chance to take 2 out of 3 from a really good team after your game yesterday. And you've got some good stories going right now. Rooker is had an amazing season. Lawrence Butler, you're going to hear They brought Lawrence Butler in and said, Lawrence, what do you want to be? You know, probably the first real heart-to-heart conversation Lawrence Butler's had to have in his career. Like, man, who do you want to be? What do you want to be? Because right now, where you're going, we've sent you down, we brought you up. It's not going well. What player do you want to be like? Wait till you hear who Lawrence Butler wants to be like. Mark Kotsay is going to tell you. And Lawrence Butler has responded. He's played great lately. So, yeah, there's some good stories. You know what we got to figure out? Who's Brett Harris? Like Brett Harris playing third, batting 155. At least you're going to find out, right? You're going to find out because every single time Brett Harris is down in the minor leagues, people are saying, well, this guy, he could be the future. Well, now let's find out.
Hits well, plays good defense down there. Comes up here, plays solid defense. I know he had the air, but he just the bat hasn't come around for him up here. And I think I wouldn't say the time is running out on him because I don't think it is. But you got a guy in the minor leagues that's hitting 400 that could come up and play, and you can move Schumann to third or put Wilson to third.
Wilson?
I'm just saying.
You're not going to bring up Jacob Wilson to play third base? Why would you bring up your future shortstop, your star shortstop, bring him up to play third base?
Well, and then you move Schumann.
Maybe you should be in the front office. That would be one of the most A's moves ever, too. You're going to take your star shortstop and go, we're going to put you at third base. What?
So Schumann will play third. That's what I said initially.
No, he's not third baseman. Let people play third who play third. Fine. Give guys opportunities who are potentially the future. Is Schumann your third baseman for the future?
I'm going to go probably not.
No. Hell, bring up Slugbauer.
Doesn't he play first?
I think he plays some third too, doesn't he? I don't know, but we have nobody in the system who can play third?
Oh, Logan Davidson.
Let Brett Harris play third. Let it play out. Let's see what he's got. I'm not going to bring up Logan Davidson to play third. I'm not going to Jacob Wilson to play third. Come on, man. He's going to come up and play short. He's your shortstops of the future. I didn't want to start the show with this. I didn't do this. I didn't make the lineup today. I just have to be, because what I wanted to start with was right now there's 22 teams in Major League Baseball. How many teams in the league?
30.
22 teams right now within 5.5 games of a playoff spot. That's crazy. You want parity? Like, you can be a team that's under 500 right now, and you're like, hey, listen, we got a lot of games left. We get over 500, we're going to be in the postseason. We can make a run. How do you not look at it like that? You got 22 teams within 5.5 games of the playoffs. That's crazy. So what do you do when you're Pittsburgh? What do you do when you're Cincinnati? I mean, because there's some people who are like, well, maybe, just maybe you say, maybe not this year, and you become a little bit of a seller. But what are you selling off? This trading deadline is going to be, it's not going to be a hot trading deadline. There's too many teams in it. There's too many teams that don't want to give anything up. They don't want to give up prospects. They don't want to give up their own players. There will be some relievers that are going to go. There will always be some relievers who go, maybe some pitching. But how many big names? Maybe that's how you catch a big fish with Rooker. I think somebody's so desperate, but I don't know.
I think the name that was thrown around earlier today was I can't remember who, was it John Heyman or someone put out there that the Astros have had talks with the Mets about the polar bear.
Okay, great example. You're the New York Mets,
who were winning earlier 7-0, so that against the Nats,
who are a half game out of a wild card spot. You're going to trade the polar bear?
I don't think they will, but stranger things have happened.
Like Andujar for us, good chance he could be gone, just because of the way we don't have control over him.
But you have Rooker through 2027.
Yeah, Rooker doesn't start our arbitration until after next year. So you could keep us if someone's not going to blow your doors down. Mason Miller, I don't see going anywhere.
Yeah, Jim Bowden had in his most recent post that apparently essentially that he's heard that we stopped taking calls on Mason Miller.
Because you know what happens. David Force told us. Do we have Julian? Is he there?
Yes.
How are you, my friend? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
We're doing fantastic. That time of the year, we start talking Trey. First off, how's the family? How's everything in Boston? How's the family in New York?
Everybody's good, man. We're just, taking it day by day. But my daughter's about to be 3 in October, so we're playing man-to-man defense right now.
It goes fast. My twins are going to college coming up here in August.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Couldn't be better.
It happens really, really fast. So trade deadline, because obviously we're one of the teams that people talk about. The Red Sox are one of the teams. Our old buddy Craig Breslow, the smartest man in baseball. When you start thinking about the Boston Red Sox, are they going to be all in? Should they be all in? June 12th, they've had the best record in baseball. What are you hearing there at Fenway Park?
Well, I think it starts with they're going to do something, right? And I think they've done something in the past that something wasn't necessarily what Red Sox fans liked. Even when they got Kyle Schwarber in 2021, that was sort of, he was on the IL at the time. So there was really no understanding of if he will be back in time. The Red Sox had a timeline of when he would be back, but optically looking from a fan's perspective, they're like, this guy's hurt. Now, granted, he came back and he was a key to their making that postseason push. So that was a great deal by him. I think they're going to be somewhere in the middle. I don't know. Not in the middle. They're not going to, I don't think they'll middle. I think Craig Breslow is going to have to reward these teams. I think you just said it, 22 teams are in the hunt for a playoff spot, and the Red Sox have been really good. But I think it probably could be something like a Nate Eovaldi, probably, right? A Zach Eflin. I don't see it being some big kaboom thing, but they do need a right-handed bat and the starting pitcher, but it's just a matter of what that ends up being.
How strong is the farm system?
It's gotten a lot stronger. And that's another thing. Like, could they trade? They have Nick York, who's a second baseman. They'll probably have no need for him. He's hitting like 3-something in AAA. He was a first-round pick during the COVID year. Marcelo Meyer, Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony. Those are the three main guys. Isaiah Campbell's another one. So they have a lot of depth there, particularly at the position player spot where they can make some moves. It's just a matter of who they want to part ways with. Now, Craig Breslow and Chaim Bloom, I think what they've showed is that they're different than Dave Dombrowski, right? Dave Dombrowski will have no problem going in and getting rid of these guys in the minor leagues to just make the major league roster better. I think the way Craig and Chaim operated was sort of more thinking long term, but still trying to build with the team on the field. But Red Sox fans have become impatient with that. Because they've seen that model for 4 years and none of it has turned into anything but an early offseason. So they're going to have to make some sort of move. But again, I'm not convinced that they're going to be all fully sold in because I just think they just have this thing about prospect capital, as Craig Breslow calls it. Prospect capital. That's his word.
Prospect capital. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. And yesterday we had Paul Hembekides on, Hembo from ESPN, who talked about the modern day general manager, the modern day front office are so scared about the transaction. They want to win. They want to win the transaction. They're not. Dave Dombrowski wanted to win a trade and win a World Series. These guys are freaked out about the transaction, losing the draft capital, losing your prospect capital. And that's why I try and tell our fans, because everybody's talking about, Mason Miller's going to be traded. I'm like, no, he's not. Because David Force is going to ask for the world and no one wants to give it up. That's kind of where we are now, right? At the trading deadline, we want to think it's like it used to be, but no one wants to really. They're afraid of the transaction. They're afraid of making this trade. They don't want to have to give up prospects. It's just the game is different now.
100%. And I think, even looking back to, like, they even make the A's look old school. with the way the teams operate now, right? They make the A's seem like they're the non-analytical team, which is crazy to sort of think about. Because I remember even back when, and I always go back to this comment that David Forrest said back when I was covering the team, is when your team gives you a chance and they're there at the end of at the trade deadline and they have a chance to compete, you don't just punt on that, right? And I think a lot of times, even last year with Chaim Bloom, he said they were like a game and a half out of the wild card, and he was like, he was talking about playoff probabilities and percentages, right? And it's like, dude, you're a game and a half out, and they didn't really do anything at the deadline. And I remember back when the A's were back in 2018 or 19, I think it was 18. Yeah, it was 18. They got Juris Familia, who was still at the top of his game at the deadline, because they're like, hey, our starting pitching may not be that good, but we have the best bullpen in baseball, so maybe we can shorten this game a little bit more and get ourselves into the postseason. And they did just that. So teams are even now just reluctant to even just give up, say, hey, Kenley Jansen's on an expiring contract. He's already said today that he wants to retire ideally as a Dodger. He's 36 years old. You got Liam Hendricks coming back in August, who's probably could take over the closer role. That could be a guy that you could part with and get probably a right-handed bat or the ideal starting pitcher that you might want to get. But I don't think they're necessarily going to do that. It's going to have to cost too much. And that was a problem with Chaim with a lot of teams that I spoke to. They said he waited. He made sure that he dotted all his I's and crossed all his T's with everything. And they were like, dude, we're getting down to the actual deadline. We got to make a move. Yeah. And so it just became too stagnant. So a team was like, okay, screw, I got to move on. And then you're sort of left with pennies. So they're going to have to make some sort of move. But again, I'm not going to be the one to say that it's going to be a huge splash.
Yeah, the fear of the transaction. They got to win the transaction. Chaim Bloom is definitely one of those guys. And just hearing you say that just makes me think like, wow, everybody in our sport acts like they have time. Like there's this end amount of time to where I remember the great Dusty Baker. I was really young in my career, and Dusty Baker just came back from prostate cancer, and he had everybody in his manager's office at Candlestick Park. And he looked around, and a couple of the people in the media had also had guys that had prostate cancer. And he looked around to all of us. He says, I want you to remember one thing. Tomorrow is promised to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And I got, I was probably like 27, 28 years old. And that like hit me. I was like, wow, I'd never, because at 27, 28, you think you're bulletproof, right? 100%. You're like, wow, tomorrow is promised to nobody. But yet baseball executives think they've got endless amount of time.
I mean, you even look at like the Yankees, right? I mean, they're a team that sort of adopted this model of like long-term sustainability, but then it's like, okay, like what's the big move that you're going to make that puts the team in contention? And you look up, it's been 15, 16 years. This team hasn't won anything, right? And it's like, yeah, you have the sustainability model, which is great, but isn't it about winning? And if you're the Yankees, isn't it about the winning way? Isn't it about the winning way if you're the Red Sox? Like these deadlines, I was talking to one of my colleagues who's been covering the team, Ian Brown, since like 2003. He's like, dude, like at the deadline and back in the day when it was Manny, Poppy, all these guys, the Red Sox and Yankees were in on everybody, right? It was like, there was no question. If he's at the top of, if he's at the top of free agency, and they're the top of the class, top free agents, the Red Sox are after them. The Yankees are after them. If they're at the top of the deadline, trade deadline, they're the cream of the crop. The Red Sox and Yankees were after them. Like that's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now all these teams are kind of trying to do the same thing. It's sort of like basketball, where it's like, okay, we can replicate Golden State. You can't replicate Golden State. There's one Golden State. There's one Steph Curry. There was one Klay Thompson. Sorry, Klay Thompson, you're no longer a part of this. But like that's one moment. Like you can't replicate that sort of success. So you got to zig when teams are zagging, and everybody just seems to be zagging the same way all the time. And I think that's what makes for the sport to be not as entertaining, right? I think that's what makes for the sport to be just sort of this one trick pony. I just came from watching the Yankees series, and I'm like, geez, If they don't hit a home run, they don't win, right? And that's the name of the game, so to speak. But now you're starting to see teams are starting to run more. You're seeing a little bit more Ellie De La Cruzes. You're seeing a little bit more Red Sox who are running more. They have 3 athletic guys: Jaron Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela, David Hamilton, who can steal bases at any time. Like, that's what Alex Cora said. We have to get faster. We have to become more athletic because teams around us are getting more athletic. But you can't always stick to the same model and the same plan and have the same outcome and expect different outcomes. You're not going to get a different outcome if you're just sitting on your hands at the deadline. Nobody's going to get better. And another thing, last thing, Cora said, it's not that we got worse at the deadline the last couple of years. It's that everybody around us got better, and we just stayed the same. And we saw those teams down the road that got better and that made transactions and that made moves, and they were just better than us. And that was interesting to me, just in terms of thinking about, like, that is a good perspective. Yeah, that, like, they were with these teams earlier on, but then once they made these moves, other teams made these moves, and the Red Sox sat stagnant on their hands. You know, they sort of plummeted in the second half of the season, because the last 4 years they've always been, at least at this time, about 4 or 5 games over 500 at the 90 game mark, right? They've always been 4 or 5 games above 500, but they've always, fumbled it toward the end of the year because they never made any moves.
I miss having you on as a guest. You're fabulous. Everything what you just said there is right. We're in the entertainment business, and no one wants to entertain.
Nobody.
Think about the Seattle Mariners. Their window of opportunity with that kind of pitching, we all would love to have that kind of pitching. Their window of opportunity is open, and they're squandering it. And then Jerry DiPoto, after last season, comes, well, we want to win 53% of the time, 54% of the time, and da-da-da. And then they made him come back the next day and walk it back. I mean, it's like, are we running a Starbucks? Are we running baseball teams? What are we doing here?
It's hedge fund. It's hedge fund baseball. I think the great Howard Bryant once said that to me one time. He's like, it's a hedge fundification of baseball. Like, it's completely just like, what's this transaction look like? How do we win this deal? What's the prospect capital? Like, prospect capital, what are we talking about? Prospect capital. I remember give you one anecdote last year. And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, but Cora, we had a press conference, and it was the spring training, and Tanner Houck was pitching. And Tanner Houck had an okay out. And keep in mind now, like, for full perspective, Tanner Houck is one of the best pitchers in the American League, right? But before that, he kind of struggled a little bit. So he had a spring training out, and he was okay. But Marcelo Meyer who was their top prospect, played in one of the games. They called him up and had 2 hits, one of them being a double. So Ian Brown asked the first question, and it was about Marcelo Meyer. And he was like, yeah, he did all right. He's fine. And then the second question came, and it was again about Marcelo Meyer. And he was like, look, guys, like, we have big leaguers on this roster, right? Like, it's like, can we talk about the big leaguers first? Then we'll get to, like, the prospects. And so afterwards, he said, hey, cut the camera off. So Nesson cut the camera off. And he said, guys, I have no issue with your questions. Like, but we're here to win big league games. Like, you got to just ask about my big leaguers first. Now, you can't tell me when to ask my question, right? But I understand the sentiment and where he's coming from in terms of everybody always wants to talk about prospects. But prospects don't keep him his job.
Yeah.
It's not the reason why he keeps a job. If you're not here, you can't help me. He knows nothing about guys that are injured, because guys that are injured, unless he has a sheet in front of him, guys that are injured, they can't help him. And so he's done a really good job with his major league roster in terms of keeping them all together and getting this team to win and getting this team to believe in themselves, which is why he shouldn't be a lame duck, and the Red Sox should be doing everything to keep him, because, oh, by the way, this guy in New York might be on the hot seat and he might be out of there. And guess what? Brian Cashman and Alex Cora are really close. He could end up in New York. That would be probably even worse than Mookie Betts going to LA, because you don't see Mookie Betts 18, 19 times a year. You have one of the best managers in baseball, and he's an expiring contract, and you guys haven't signed him. So it's not necessarily about prospect capital. It's about what the big league team has. And prospect capital can be a big part of it. But we've seen guys struggle. We've seen Tanner Houck struggle before he came in. We've seen Jaron Duran struggle before he became what he became. We're seeing Ceddanne Rafaela have his ups and downs throughout the season. We're seeing David Hamilton have his ups and downs throughout the season. Like when these guys come up, they're probably 2 or 3 of them probably I guarantee you at some point the 3 of them are probably get option at some point. Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer. It's just part of the business. It's part of the game. So you can't rely so much on prospect capital to get you through to get you to October baseball because it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, there may be, if LA doesn't do anything in the postseason, Dave Roberts could be out. That could be a place Cora could go. The question is, do these front offices, and mainly does Boston's front office, value the manager?
It's interesting, right? Because I think you look at that situation and you say, okay, Andrew Bailey and Craig Breslow are really good friends. Andrew Bailey was up for a bench coaching position for the Yankees. So that tells me he doesn't necessarily just want to remain a pitching coach, right? I think he took this job in part because of his relationship with Breslow, but also I think he also took it because there's a chance he might be able to become the manager. And now with Cora, him and Dave Dombrowski are really, really close. And Dave Dombrowski is the guy who says, "Hey, I'm gonna just let him." He's old school. I'm gonna let my manager manage, right? I'm say, "Hey, what do we need?" And I bring him in on these meetings, and he's a part of it, and he's a part of our transactions. Whatever I say, I need this, I need this, I need this. Okay, I'll get that for you. You just got to just keep these guys together, and he's really hands off in that way. These guys now, it's sort of about, they call it what's the word they use? Collective. I don't know. It's like an all hands on deck effort, a collective effort between the front office and the management side of things in terms of the day-to-day manager. It's all all in one. It's all together. They all do it. The lineups, everything. Cora is not that type of guy necessarily. So I do think there's a time where they're gonna have to make a decision, and he might not be here back next year. Look. Cora sees that Craig Counsell deal and with the Cubs.
Yeah.
He says, he got that. I think I can do that, especially if I get this team to the playoffs. So, like, this isn't about him just inspiring like other people. I mean, his team, yeah, sure, it's about winning, but it's also about Cora too, right? I think that matters to him. He says he doesn't want to manage for that much longer. He says probably, another 5-6 years. You got to go where they're going to pay you.
Let's end on this. You're just in New York. I remember beginning of the year, they were talking about how great the Yankees are. What is the get your panic meter out? Where were they on the panic meter when you were just there?
Well, Brian Cashman flew down to Tampa, unprompted, and had a conversation with the team, so when they just went to Tampa on Tuesday. So that tells you something. There is panic there, right? I think there is a level of, hey, we've lost 16 out of the last 22 games or 20 games. What's going on here, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with, like, the offense is just so reliant on Judge and Soto. And in recent years, it was just Judge. If he's not going, the team's not going. So now it's translated to, if Soto's not going and Judge is not going, the team's not going. And so I think there's an issue there in terms of them being able to have a collective unit of guys that can do multiple things to create a win. Look, I'll say right here, the Red Sox, they're not the best. They're not the most talented team, but I think they take advantage of their strengths. If they're not hitting, and they get a guy on first base who's fast, guess what? First pitch, he's going because we need him in scoring position, right? The Yankees don't have that. They don't have that. They get a guy on first base. They're depending on that guy on the plate to hit a double in the gap, have a second and third situation, and then drive those 2 runs in. It's so dependent on the offense and just to score runs in just one way, which is in part by the homer, or is predominantly by the homer, that plagues this team. So Yeah, the panic meter is out because they go through way too many stretches like this over the Boone era, where it's like they just down. It's just like when they're hot, they're hot. When they're cold, and they're cold.
Hey, fabulous. Absolute great stuff. We always appreciate it. Be well. Let's hook up soon. Have a great All-Star break.
Absolutely. Thank you, fellas.
Good to see you, buddy.
You too.
That was awesome. That was real. That was high-grade information from somebody who's in an elite baseball market. That's an elite baseball market. Always has been, always will be. When you're the Boston Red Sox, you're the Celtics, you're the New England Patriots, you're in New England, all the states, and they live and die with their teams. And the way they're covered is second to none. And the expectations, I dig it. I hope we become that someday. I really, really, I mean, right? Don't you? I mean, I want to become that. I want to have writers back. I want to have other media people back. I want to have TV stations, radio stations. I want that. That's when people care, right? I mean, we've always been not like that. It's always been low coverage. I would love to be a focal point in our game. And hopefully in the next few years, we'll be able to get that where everybody's cut. Like think about what this show would be like numbers wise. We've done very well numbers wise for what we created, but in a different, bigger type environment. Oh my God. But you know, that's our commitment to you, is to continue to bring the best guests. And Julian is phenomenal. And, you know, look at what he said. It's almost like we could cut up him and cut up Hembo from yesterday. Two guys that study this game, where they said a lot of the same things. We're in a sport where we're deathly afraid to make moves. We're deathly afraid of the transaction. Billy Beane and Scott Boras. I've told this story. I'm going to tell it again. Shintaro Fujinami's press conference. The press conference gets over. We're at our offices in Jack London, and I'm sitting there. We're about to interview Scott Boras, and the great Billy Beane walks up. So next thing you know, Beane and Boras start chatting it up. I just happen to be right there because I'm about to interview Boras. So we all start rapping, and Beane starts talking about how this game has changed so much. It's one of the reasons why he wanted out, because no one wants to make moves. No one's daring. Everybody just wants to hold on to prospects, which both Boras and Beane laughed at. But everything that in that conversation that I had with Scott Boras and Billy Beane is what Hembo was talking about yesterday, and what Julian is talking about today, is that, like Chaim Bloom, that was the problem. People said you'd call the Boston Red Sox. Chaim Bloom was a genius coming from Tampa. He's bringing Tampa's values and Tampa's brilliance to Boston. And they said, this guy can't pull the trigger. They have, and I know somebody who works deep in the Red Sox, and it was like, man, you wouldn't believe how many cooks are in this kitchen. So many different people to make so many different decisions, and everybody had to agree. And it was just like overload. And if you were somebody dealing with the Boston Red Sox, you couldn't get answers. There were so many layers you had to get through just to get to Chaim, and then Chaim could never make a decision.
You mentioned how there's so many guys in one room. They all have to agree. How the hell do they all agree? Let's trade a generational player like Mookie Betts and get nothing in return. You won't trade prospects, but you'll trade a sure thing like that, and you got literally nothing. And you flip Verdugo to the Yankees. He's gone. Jeter Downs did nothing for you.
You had to do the Devers big deal. Devers got a big deal.
And he's been solid.
No, Devers still at his age doing what he's doing will be somebody that'll be sniffing Cooperstown. But
trading Mookie Betts will always – that's the lasting legacy for Chaim with the Red Sox. And you had how many guys in a room?
That could have come down from ownership.
Also true, yeah.
Yeah, then that's not it. If they said, hey, we don't want to pay him $300 million.
I can't remember if it was him, but I think it was Craig Breslow.
And also, to be fair, Mookie might have said, I don't care what you offer me, I'm not staying. And then that's a whole different thing. But a lot of the other stuff away from Mookie, you can blame Chaim Bloom of just terrified of decisions. Terrified. And that's where our business is everybody's terrified of the transaction. They have to win the transaction. Versus when we talk about that, Dave Dombrowski with Philadelphia, look how well Philadelphia is built. And Dave Dombrowski has won everywhere he goes. Why? Because he is about winning at the big league level. All these other guys, they'd like to win, but they do not want to trade the draft capital to go out and get players. They don't want to go out and spend big in free agency. Like they're all running this like you're running a franchise style business. Not a small business where you make all the decisions. They're like franchise managers. Like a franchise, like give me a franchise that you're a franchise, but you can make some of your own decisions. I wouldn't say like a McDonald's or a Starbucks but you are like a franchise, if you're like TGI Fridays or whatever, you're like a franchise, but you can make some of your own decisions. You can have some of your own menu items. You can have some of your own drinks, right? But you're paralyzed to make those moves. Everybody is acting the same. And then we have a lot of teams because of the success of the Astros and the Cubs and now the Orioles who now like, let's just go everything prospects. I want to go prospects. Hell, I'm all in. Please just play young guys, but we won't do that. But a lot of teams would, that we're just going to go with the young guys. We're going to sell our future timeout. Too many people in our sport are not going for it. We are a go for it society, right? We love watching players who go for it, who want to be great. Why did Tiger Woods become a phenom and a billionaire? It's because Tiger Woods was greatness in spikes, right? Why did we love Magic and Bird onto Jordan? Because they were cold, hard killers. Why did everybody love Mike Tyson? Because Mike Tyson came out to knock your ass out in the first round. We love that as American sports fans. When you go, well, I kind of want to win, but I don't want to mortgage my future. But we're winning 54% of the time. That means the owners are happy. My front office is happy. The scouts are out there. Like, our sports fans don't want that. Our sports fans want go, win, win. That's what we want. And that kind of translates to why we see lack of ratings with our World Series. Because look at the World Series. It's a bunch of teams like, we're kind of in, we're kind of not. We're getting hot. We get to the World Series. What excited you? What was really the excitement? What was the sizzle on the steak of Rangers Diamondbacks? Diamondbacks were a little engine that could. Okay. Rangers have spent a lot of money, but what's sexy? Sexy sells, man. When you don't have sexy, you don't sell. When you do have it, and that's why I can see why baseball always wants the Yankees to be there, but the Yankees aren't sexy anymore. Who's sexy in our business? Maybe the Orioles, maybe the Phillies, but right now there's not a whole lot of, by the way, the Cubs could sweep the Orioles right now, but there's not a whole lot of sexy in our sport. We're missing that. And we talked about that with Dennis Eckersley, where Eck was like, man, we were a rock star team. People love that team of 88, 89, 90, especially 89, 90, 91. They drew huge crowds on the road. You've got Jose Canseco. You got Mark McGuire. You got Ricky Henderson. You got Dave. Like, they were a sexy team, rock star type team. When's the last time? When is the last rock star baseball team that when they were on the road, everybody wanted to go watch them play?
Maybe the Yankees of the late 90s.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of teams like more recently.
Do I have to bust out the calendar? It's 2024. You're going back to the 90s? We haven't had anybody in over 24 years who's been sexy. Maybe that's our problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't think of one. Like, no, even if you look like you go, oh, maybe the Red Sox with Poppy and Manny. That was still 20 years ago. I mean, there's no. Yeah, I mean, you would think it would have been Trout and Ohtani, but Trout doesn't talk to the media, and neither does Ohtani.
Trout is an all-time great, right? When he plays.
Yeah.
Ohtani is an all-time great, but Ohtani's boring. Like, it's great to watch him, but there's no it factor. Like, we don't have like the Bulls were a traveling road show, right?
I mean, look,
and that's going back to the 90s. Like, but you know who was like, the New England Patriots? They were the villains. They were the bad guys. People wanted to see them. Television ratings go up. When they came to town, it was a big deal.
If you
Dallas Cowboys continue to be a big deal.
I think a team more recently.
Lakers continue. Like, there's still franchises and teams. The Warriors were a team that when the Warriors came to your town, ticket prices went up. Everybody wanted to go see Steph Curry and the Warriors.
Yeah, until load management.
Who's baseball's Steph Curry and the Warriors?
The Dodgers. When Mookie plays and Ohtani plays.
Are they?
Well, I was going to say with the Warriors, it's great to go see them too until, they load manage and Steph and those guys aren't playing on the road. And that became a whole thing. And basketball had to fix that. But yeah, baseball, you would think it'd be like the Dodgers or the Phillies. But I mean, I don't know.
We just had the Orioles here. Did everybody come out of the woodwork going, we got to see the Orioles?
No. We'll see in a couple weeks at the beginning of August when the Dodgers are here.
Orioles could be that team, though.
Oh, yeah. They got a lot of potential.
But they got a lot of just good dudes. They don't have rock stars. We need rock stars.
You know what they have? Prospect capital.
Which doesn't sell in American sports.
Yeah, but you're right. Adley's a nice player, but he's not a superstar dynamic.
Here's a great example. Every single time you talk NFL, people, what's the first thing they say? Well, that's the NFL. Well, let's talk college football. Nick Saban and Alabama were rock stars. Nick Saban turned that program into rock stars. Dabo Swinney and Clemson comes to town. I guarantee you the stadium's going to be sold out, and there's going to be a lot of people talking about it. Like, where are, it's what hockey's missing. Hockey's missing rocks. You got to have, I almost feel like the commercial, what is the Workday commercial with the rock stars, and it's Billy Idol and Joan Jett, like rock stars, Ozzy Osbourne. But yeah, that bigger than life. Like, they come to town and everybody wants to be a part of it because it's something special. That's what the traveling road show is, right? Like when the PGA Tour had Tiger and Phil Mickelson are going to be here. Well, that means for 4 days you're going to have a couple 100,000 people going out to that PGA Tour event, right? When you have big name guys coming into town right now, Caitlin Clark is a big deal. Caitlin Clark comes into town, everybody wants to go. All of a sudden, the parking around the arena goes skyrockets. I mean, it's like it's the show. The Savannah Bananas come to town. People want to see it. It's entertainment. That's the great question. Where do we have that in our game? Like this All-Star, like the All-Star games, they've jumped the shark, right? Our All-Star game is like the closest one that's still a game, but everyone has been criticizing the NBA All-Star game. NBA All-Star game had both teams had over 200 points. Everybody said how awful it was. Hockey's had to change their format. They don't even play the Pro Bowl anymore.
No, they don't.
What is the All-Star? What are All-Star games now? All-Star game used to be a huge deal for us. How do we get the it factor back to our All-Star game? How do we get the it factor back to our playoffs, our World Series? How do we get the it factor back? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but having baseball nerds in front offices, and I say baseball nerds because Eno Saris, the ultimate baseball nerd, our baseball national columnist from The Athletic, gave me permission. He granted me permission, if you remember back, to be able to say baseball nerds. The baseball nerds want to talk about prospect capital, draft capital. How do I sell that? How do I go to the average American sports fan and sell you, give me your money, give me your time, and give me your money? And I got draft capital. I got prospect capital.
Yeah, you really can't. And it's a shame with the way everything's going in the game. By the way, there's some news.
Paul Skenes went to the hospital because he pitched 7 innings.
No, nothing on that yet.
No.
Kyle Tucker will not be playing in the All-Star game. He was been replaced. Anthony Santander has replaced him for the All-Star game. So I'm still waiting to see if Yordan Alvarez plays or not, because that means it could be logically Brent Rooker. So we'll have to keep monitoring that. It's another Astro now.
You're going to love this, by the way, folks. Mark Kotsay talking about Brent Rooker. And I will, in the interview, I will bring up a name to go along with it. Do you remember the name I brought up?
Ooh, no, I don't know.
Reginald Martinez Jackson.
Nice little career.
No, I'm not comparing Brent Rooker's career to Reggie Jackson's career, but I will be comparing styles.
I remember, yeah.
Styles. This is a good conversation. Yeah, I mean, where we are, I would like us to go all in young. But, man, it's hard to believe, and that's like a great thing about David Force is that David Force has said repeatedly, and we've seen it through the years, we've seen it with Bean, when the A's are in it, they are going to make moves to try and get better. I can't imagine how frustrating it'd be. And Alex Cora's got a good point. And Julian McWilliams just said it from the Boston Globe. You know, if you're sitting there in your Boston and all of a sudden everybody around you gets better and you don't do anything, you go, you know, we're gonna steady the ship here, and we're going with what we got, and everybody around you gets better. That must be very frustrating.
Yeah, especially when you're the Red Sox. You have one of the biggest payrolls. You charge the most for tickets and concessions and everything, and you have the money, and you have an ownership group right now that's all of a sudden the last few years the Fenway Group doesn't want to spend, and they're cutting back, and you know you're hoarding prospects and getting prospect capital. I'm pretty sure that was a Craig Breslow. I think Breslow was the one that said that. If not, it was Heim. But I think it was Breslow, though, with that prospect capital. And they don't want to trade any of these guys to acquire anybody. It's not just them, though. It's the entire sport. They're worried they could be trading away the next Barry Bonds, Bryce Harper.
But we have shown you right here on this show, courtesy of Jim O'Dowd from MLB Network, the longtime GM. He went through the whole thing of like the last 10 years, and everybody traded, and it was like 500-something prospects, and how many have actually had big league careers? It was less than 5%. Bunch of guys got cups of coffee. A cup of coffee in the big time. As Randy Macho Man Savage once said about Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Yeah. A cup of coffee in the big time. That's Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Not Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Randy Macho Man Savage.
That one's very good. I also like when he does the cream, and he keeps pulling out the creamers when he's talking to Mean Gene.
The cream of the crop.
Dig it.
You have to, on Instagram right now, you can follow old WWF promos. They just recently had one with Macho Man for 4th of July. I mean, when you think of a man patriotic, loves his country, representing America and fighting for it, you think Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan fought for democracy.
Yeah, I mean, he took on the Iron Sheik. He took on
Nikolai Volkov from Russia.
He took on Sergeant Slaughter, the Iraqi sympathizer.
When he turned heel.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan fought for this country. Randy Macho Man Savage fought for this country.
The Ultimate Warrior.
They're patriots.
Ultimate Warrior.
Did the Ultimate Warrior fight for our country?
I'm just saying he's a guy of that era that fought.
These men.
Hawk and Animal LOD.
These great patriots fought for our country in the WWF. And then they had to change the WCW.
The WWE.
Did WWE. Did Flair ever fight for our country? Ric Flair? The 16-time world champion?
I'm sure he has. I heard a good debate on that.
He fought in the Southeast, so he was fighting for something.
So there's a whole thing.
Okay, I'm joking. He's now getting serious about wrestling. Okay, go
ahead. No,
I'm talking about the platform is yours.
No, it was something about Ric Flair.
Yes.
The 16-time champion.
Is it 16?
It's 16. Yeah, it is 16. So him and John Cena both have 16 titles, and everyone goes.
But Ric Flair wrestled in so many leagues years and years ago. He's got to probably have like 80 belts.
He's won so many world titles in different promotions that everyone says he's the greatest world champion, where everyone needs to qualify it as John Cena's the greatest WWE champion of all time because he's won 16 in just WWE. Where Flair's won him through WCW.
Oh no,
back in
Flair's
the NWA.
Flair won in really early old school
Yeah.
wrestling. I guarantee you, if you go through, because remember when they would tour and they do the same match, so that means Flair is winning the title, giving the title back, giving it up on one tour. Flair could have won it 16 times.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think he's the greatest world champion. They were talking about this after because John Cena announced this is 2025 is his last year and he's done. Like he's done with professional wrestling.
2025.
Yeah, so he's going to go January 2025 through December.
I didn't even know he was back. I thought he was making movies.
He did, but he came back at the we don't call it pay-per-view anymore because we call it PLEs, Premium Live Events, because it's on WWE streaming platform. And he came back this past weekend and said he's going to be done December of 2025.
There's too much money in it. Like the juice, it's fun, the crowd and everything, but there's just too much money to go away.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock's back. Well, The Rock was back and he's gone, but he's coming back again.
Doesn't he own the league now?
He's on the board of TKO, who owns WWE. Yeah.
The Rock says.
So there's your wrestling update for anyone that I know we have wrestling fans that watch this show.
He's going way more in. I was just talking about Hogan and Flair and
saving our country
and Macho Man saving the United States of America. You took it to the real route.
Should we go back to talk about Sergeant Slaughter, the heel turn?
There's a great Mean Gene in Sergeant Slaughter, and Slaughter's doing his thing, and Mean Gene just can't keep a straight face. Keep it together. Hey, remember Sergeant Slaughter ended up on G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I mean,
Sergeant Slaughter was really fighting for our country. He was on G.I. Joe.
Also, yes.
Yeah, he's fighting Cobra.
I'm pretty sure The Rock was in the movie G.I. Joe.
The original?
No, like they remade it like the early 2000s.
Yeah, they did the movie. I don't think Rock was in the first one. I saw the first. You know what? I am not proud to say I saw that. I grew up with G.I. Joe.
Rock was in, which one was he in? G.I. Joe? I don't feel like going through the whole thing. But The Rock was in one of them. I never saw it, but I know he was in one of them.
I loved G.I. Joe when I was a kid. The cartoon, I had all the action. If I would have kept the action figures, I had everything. Toys R Us. I always had G.I. I mean, I was a little kid, but if I would have kept that in pristine shape, what those things are worth now, all my Star Wars stuff.
Say the Star Wars stuff.
I had like the Star Wars dolls, like the big Star Wars dolls that they only made for a certain time. They were so, when my mom passed and we went through the garage, I found them in a box. I went, oh, these things were worth a lot of money. If I only knew then, if I didn't rip Chewbacca's arm off while I was playing with him, would it be worth now?
Fair. I mean, it's like that. I had that, and for me, it was all because as a kid, I collected wrestlers. Some of those are worth money too.
You collected wrestlers?
Like action figures.
Oh yeah, they can. They have all the WWF ones.
Yeah. Those are worth money too. But the Star Wars ones are definitely worth a lot of money if you have the original ones.
Are we done with this?
Yeah, we can move on.
Because I mean, the more we go on, the more we just embarrass ourselves. Back to talking about GMs who are gutless. Come on, man. We're not going to see a lot. That's why it's. I love when you guys call the show at 833-625-2278. I love that. But I don't know. I just don't think we're going to see a lot. I
just keep looking at Twitter, see if there's any news.
Hey,
we're at that time of the year.
I won't be shocked if nobody goes with the A's.
Yeah, I mean, the latest name I heard today, and this is the first time I've heard this name mentioned in Bowden's article. He mentioned Ursig, and it was Ursig. We're looking at pitching. It was Ursig, someone else, and he mentioned TJ McFarland. Oh, Austin Adams and TJ McFarland. That's the first time I heard TJ McFarland.
Austin Adams. Okay, what do you want?
Yeah, well, but TJ McFarland, he's been a nice veteran for the A's in the bullpen this year.
Yeah, right now. I mean, Urseg, 33 games, 33 and a third innings, 38 strikeouts, a whip of 1.1070. What you want your whip under 1.2. ERA at 2.97. Still learning. giving up 3 home runs, walked 12. I mean, what would you really give up for Ursig? Is what you're going to get worth it? That would be my one question to all about the A's. Is what they're going to offer you worth it? Because I would bet no, knowing that no one wants to give up their prospect capital.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it's low-grade prospect capital, I wouldn't do it.
Just
Not
hold
even
on to him.
Andujar. You know what? I mean, you got money coming off the books with Diaz. I mean,
Wood and Stripling.
are they off the books for sure? What's their deals?
By the way, Ursig's not a free agent until 2030.
Yeah, I mean, you could trade him next year when he's more established and probably get way more for him.
Stripling's a free agent after this year.
Here you go.
Alex Wood, free agent after this year.
So all the money's going to be off the books. Why not? If you like Andujar that much, why not give him, I don't know, $8 million? Right?
Yeah.
And then, who do you have to pay? You're going to want some excitement. Now, if someone offers you something really good for Andujar, I'm in. I'm not sure you're going to get that.
Yeah, what is he, 20? He's 28, right? 28, 29 maybe
he's
now.
Going to be 29 this year.
And he's a free agent
during the season, which is still, he hasn't played a lot, so it's not like his body's all beat.
He's already 29.
He's 29 already? Yeah, so he's 29. Yes, if there is the right offer, you do move Andujar. And Duhar.
Yeah, he's only making, 1.7? So, I mean, it's like you're shedding salary.
But boy, he does fit in nicely on a team that strikes out a lot. Andujar fits in really nice.
Yeah, because he doesn't strike out a lot. And he puts
He
the ball in play.
doesn't strike out. Oh, put him with Jacob Wilson. I mean, that's what you get. Toro back. You start looking at Toro. Remember, Toro at one point was leading the American League in hits in May. You get Toro, Jacob Wilson, and Andujar, 3 out of your 9 guys who you can kind of count on a regular basis to put the ball in play. That really helps out. Now you start having diversity. You're diversifying your portfolio. If you want to do all your prospect capital and you want to do your draft capital, Jonathan Mayo of MLB.com joining us here at the bottom of the hour. You need to diversify your portfolio. You want to have all kinds of different stocks in your portfolio. And I like having some contact stocks. I like the home run hitters. I like some ones that are a gamble that could pay off big, but I like some steady eddies too. Give me some steady eddies. We're going to show up every day and make some contact. That's Andujar right now.
I'm interested to see what Jonathan Mayo has to say about Jacob Wilson. I think he's number 50 now on the top 100 prospects. And, a guy that's I want to
So
see.
you've hit 400 everywhere you go and you're only top 50?
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to do?
Because I saw our good friend Kylie McDaniel from ESPN was ranking, he was looking at the draft and he was like, well, these guys where they get drafted, where they would be on his, or he'd be on the top one, where the kid from Oregon State, Travis Bazana, where would he be? I think he put him he said he'd be 15th on his top 100 list already.
So you've hit at every level. Braden Montgomery. So you've hit at every level. You've hit 400. Where should that rate you as a prospect?
I would say a lot higher.
Are you going to say he doesn't walk enough?
That doesn't strike out either, though.
So Jonathan Mayo has us going Braden Montgomery, outfielder, Texas A&M.
He played at Stanford last year.
That leaves the A's to look at other college options with Montgomery, Weatherholt, and Wake Forest first baseman Nick Kurtz. I'll tell you what, I've watched video. I've actually watched video of this guy. It is launch all day.
Him or the kid from Wake Forest?
The kid from Wake Forest, yeah. Nick Kurtz. It is launch all day. That will be something where we talk about a swing that will have to be redone when you get here. You may hit some bombs, but you're also going to hit 195 and strike out a lot.
Yeah.
He is launching. I mean, I saw this video. You're launching all different parts of the ballpark. boom. He's got this big hack. Looks great in college and looks great with a metal bat and maybe looks great in the minor leagues. But that's where maybe in the second half we have J.J. Bleday and we have Brent Rooker on to talk about, hey, that swing that made you a college star, why did you have to change it? Why did they have to rework their swings to be who they are to be competitive in the big league, to be competitive in the big leagues now?
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I mean, that's something we definitely should do because
they're great examples because both guys were college stars.
Yeah.
They were absolute college stars.
And JJ was a top 5 pick.
So why did you have to change your swing? And let them tell us. Because we know for Bleday, he had to get rid of that. Dropping that right elbow, he had to get rid of that because he just got exposed. A lot of pop flies and a lot of strikeouts. So coming up the draft, who do you think we're going to get? Who do you think? Who did you had a guy that you thought was at Mississippi, but it was actually at Arkansas?
Oh no, he's just a guy I said I liked. I stayed with 4-spot Montgomery like a month ago, but he broke his ankle, so I don't know if he slides or not. I would love the kid from West Virginia is Weatherholt, but he was hurt this year too, so that's why he's 5.
Why would you drop for breaking your ankle?
I don't know, maybe
broken bones heal.
That's I don't know. Guys, injuries derail people. I don't know. I still think
you wouldn't take a guy because he broke his foot.
I still like him. I think he should be the guy. I mean, Weatherholt's a second base shortstop, and then Bazana's a second baseman.
Bazana, is he for sure going 1?
No, because everyone's mock draft is different. Some guy will have him going 4th, and Weatherholt goes 1. Everyone likes Condon, though, the kid from Georgia, because he has a lot of power. He had like 38 home runs or something this year with Georgia. And then the kid going 3rd on Jonathan Mayo's Jack Caglione is the two-way guy. Braden Montgomery is a two-way guy too. Well, he was at least at Stanford. I don't know if he did it a lot this year.
The more we've watched Shohei Ohtani, the more I'm down on the two-way player. It's just so hard and it's just such high maintenance.
Yeah, I think Caglione might just be a first baseman.
It makes sense, right? Hey, one guy can do 2 things. And that's one roster spot. But I ask you, we saw that. And as soon as the Angels pushed Ohtani, he broke down.
Yes.
So how so Caglione, how realistic is it to have a two-way player? Because we've watched it. We've watched somebody we called the unicorn, and we've watched him not be able to stay healthy. And when the Angels pushed him last year, he started having leg problems.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't elbow problems. Last year with the Angels, at the end of the year, when hey, Ohtani's going to play every day and we're riding this horse, and not the kind of horse not Keener, Lincecum, and Sanchi.
By the way, the anniversary of Sanchi's no-hitter was yesterday. I meant to text you that.
Wasn't that against the Padres? Wasn't every no-hitter like Lincecum's was against the Padres?
Both of Lincecum's.
Sanchi's.
Kane's perfect game was against the Astros.
By the way, that is something, if you want to just talk about teams going right now, is that, with the Phillies able to maybe sweep the Dodgers, I think they're going with the Powder Blues tonight. Isn't it the Dodgers just have the ability to cruise because their competition in the National League West is so mediocre?
Yeah, I mean,
they're able just to cruise and be like, put that guy on the DL, put that guy on the IL.
Yeah, I mean, even the Giants, everyone. Hembo, I remember Hembo was on Buster like last week, and he still thinks he doubled down, still thinks the Giants can make a run. They lost last night. They're losing right now. So that's a team in the NL West that's not playing well. The Padres got swept by the Mariners. The Diamondbacks, Paul Sewell saved the game last night, but he blew the last 3. So, and then the Rockies are the Rockies.
So, you can have Kershaw on the IL, and now you're going to put Glasnow on the IL. Walker Buehler's on the IL. We're going to wait to get those guys back. We just want them ready for the I mean,
Bobby Miller's AAA.
They just get to cruise to they're just cruising to the postseason. To where there's other teams, I mean, you blink like the Yankees and you sink like a stone, and now the Red Sox are on you and the Orioles. I mean, you don't have – where's the competition? Where's the competition in the NL West? Dodgers can just cruise and stash guys on the IL and just try and get everybody ready for the postseason, which they have not been great at. That's another thing I want to get at. Oh, the postseason is just a crapshoot. They act like the postseason is a different game. It's a different game. What, we not playing 9 innings? Do the rules change? The pressure changes. You know why? Because there is no tomorrow. This world of we have time. It's early. It's not even June yet. Now it's June. Well, it's not July. Everybody in baseball pushes time, right? They always got time. Postseason, you don't have time. You got to win today. But it's still like same gloves, balls, bats, innings, right? Same rules.
Yeah, nothing changes.
It's still the same game.
Still pitch timer and all that.
Yeah, but the analytics and what, our percentages and what because today, the only thing that matters is today. What your percentage is from yesterday and last month, and they don't matter. Your scouting reports, they don't matter. What matters is how a guy plays today. And yes, on a day like today, a guy that's hitting 212 could go 3 for 4, a home run, 2 doubles, drive in 6, and be the star. Because why? Only today matters.
Yeah.
But it's still the same game. They try and act like we're playing a different game. Last time I checked the postseason, same rules. Jonathan Mayo from MLB.com. We're talking draft next, right here on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
This is the place where you could dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
The underdogs Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
And Jonathan joins us now as we're getting ready for the draft here on A's Cast Live, and always great to have him. He's the best. Go to MLB.com. His mock draft is up now. And Jonathan, thanks for coming back on the program. And it's always funny. I've done so many different shows in the NFL and the NBA over the years where everybody talks about the mock draft, coming together with the mock draft. When you start doing mock drafts, and then what's the last mock draft like? So where is this the final? Is this exactly what we think is going to go down?
Oh, I wish, man. That would save me a lot of time and energy. No, we'll do one more. Jim Callis and I kind of switch off. He's got a new one coming up. They'll be up tonight. And then we'll both do our final one that will probably go live in the wee hours Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we're trying to get the latest intel possible. With the draft, ever since they switched it to more of an evening draft, we always wish we had time to do one in like early afternoon because that's when people actually figure things out. But we'll get as close as we can get late on Saturday night.
We just had our good friend Julian McWilliams on from The Athletic, who covers the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, the A's are at Fenway Park right now. And before we start talking about the draft, you've been doing this a long time, and we're hearing a lot of executives now talk about prospect capital and whether they want to let prospect capital go at the trading deadline. Kind of the hedge fund baseball, as we like to call it. Talk to us about in your career, because we know back in the day, our own Billy Bean always talked to us, hey, when we got a chance, we're going to go for it. David Force now feels like, hey, we're not punting if we got a chance. We're going to go for it. Talk about how baseball and the trading deadline and these prospects have changed in your career, how these GMs deal with them.
I think there always have been, maybe it wasn't called prospect capital. Maybe they couldn't name it quite as succinctly, but I think there have always been some organizations, some general managers that coveted their prospects, but more for different reasons. I don't know that they saw their their value in the same way they do now. A lot of times it would be smaller markets that felt that they had to because they just couldn't go and get the big free agent. So if they didn't build from within, you couldn't have success. And at a certain point in time, even the Yankees and the Dodgers of the world realized, well, sure, we can go and get the free agents and make the trades, but also if our cupboard is bare, we're not going to have guys that can come up to fill holes or become stars or have guys to trade away. They always seem to find them, but you look at like the Yankees of the late 90s, those were all homegrown players. So they got away from that and then they got back to it. So I think in recent years, there's definitely been, I think with a lot of things, Chris, in baseball, the pendulum kind of will swing back and forth. And right now, I will never, ever say publicly that prospects are overvalued because of what I do. But I think that they are at a higher value than they've been because people see more intrinsic value in holding on to, but keeping control of him. Even the teams that can spend money, right? If you can have a star player who doesn't cost you much money for 5-6 years and then have the ability to sign him forever, a la Derek Jeter, that kind of player, the Angels and Mike Trout, maybe a more recent example, then I think you're going to do that, even if you have deep pockets.
Well, we love what you do, and we will never diminish it. And some of the stuff we do today is going to be going on the actual broadcast today, so we'll be bumping this up. So the draft, A's are going fourth. Bazana, the kid out of Oregon State. I know you got Montgomery for us out of Texas A&M right now at number 4. Is there a clear-cut, this guy's the best, or is this going to be interesting depending whose goes first and how people start to fall?
More the latter. I think for the most part, Travis Bazana and Charlie Condon from Georgia separated themselves just from a pure talent standpoint. There were a lot of college bats that had very, very good years. Jack Caglione, the two-way player from Florida, isn't that far behind. Braden Montgomery, before he had the unfortunate injury in the College World Series, also a really good year. So there isn't a clear cut, this is the guy. And Cleveland is kind of like Fort Knox. There's no information coming out for the Guardians. So no one really knows what they're doing. And I don't think they've decided yet. They're doing due diligence in terms of who are the players we want and how much do we like this player enough to spend more money on, right? So one of the names that keeps coming up often at one is J.J. Weatherholt to the West Virginia, who is, now I'm ranked number 4. So, he's kind of next in line. We had him number 1 back in December. He had this hamstring injury that was recurring from the summer, so people were a little worried. If you're convinced and you feel comfortable with his health, there isn't that much separating him and Travis Bazana, really, just in terms of what they've done. Bazana's got a little more power. Weatherholt's got a little more speed. They both probably end up playing second base, at the big league level. If you can save, I'm making up a number here, an extra $2 million on J.J. Weatherholt, and you think they're the same player, you might do that. What makes it interesting is that if Bazana doesn't go 1, this is where all the chess, he doesn't go 1, he might not go 2 or 3. So then you're looking at slot at 4 for your A's, and then the Cleveland can go back to Bazana like, well, you're not going to go until 4, so will you sign for X? And then it's just which player do you like better?
And then that gives you money maybe left over if you can get a guy to sign for X for what you'll do in the second round. You may go a little higher in the second round.
Yeah, and the thing is, right at the very top, no one ever signs for full slot. I think full slot at number 1 is $10.5 million, whatever it is. And even the best player isn't going to sign for that. And normally I would advocate for take the guy you think is best. Yeah. Because eventually he's not going to turn down $9.5 million and you're still saving $1 million that you can use. But if there isn't a clear cut number 1, then maybe it makes sense to do that. Cleveland's got an extra pick. They've got a huge pool. So they can be aggressive no matter what they do at 1-1, but they might even be able to really sort of scoop up a bunch of players. I mean, I think it's similar to when the Pirates took Henry Davis number 1. And, I know that, Davis hasn't played very well in the times he's been in the big leagues as of yet, but he was right in that top 4, top 4 category. He was in the mix. And so they saved a bunch of money, and they also got Bubba Chandler, who's in the Futures game this year. They got Anthony Solometo, who's a talented lefty, and they got a really toolsy outfielder in Lonnie White. Now, that hasn't all worked out, but at the time, those are 3 high-end players that they got. So that's the kind of thing you can do in manipulating your bonus pools.
When I think about a two-way player and Caglione coming out of Florida, we were, once obviously we've lived the Shohei Ohtani. He made his debut against us. We've seen him a ton with the Angels, now with the Dodgers. In theory, it sounded great. You have these great skill sets mixed in one roster spot. But really last year, when we saw the Angels push him, you started to see a lot of fatigue. You started seeing the lower body stuff. He started struggling with his legs. When you're a two-way player, can teams really look at that and say, at the big league level for a long career, this guy's going to be able to do both? Is there still a belief because of Shohei Ohtani that's a possibility?
I'll go as far as to say, and I think, again, this is another pendulum that may be swinging back in the other direction, that there was a stretch of time where at least teams were willing to let guys try. Where it used to be right out of the draft, it was, maybe they were really good two-way guys in high college level. You went one way or the other based on what you thought they should do. And a lot of times, teams have different opinions. Austin Riley, almost everyone liked him as a pitcher, but he wanted to hit and the Braves wanted to let him hit, and that's worked out, but, so I think that, listen, Shohei Ohtani is an anomaly. And as you pointed out, even he's breaking down, the elbow injuries. We'll see how much longer they have to do it. I kind of trust the Dodgers may figure out a path forward to make both work if they want to. I don't think Jack Caglione's ever going to pitch as a professional. I'm not sure that his arm isn't hurt. His velocity was way down at the end. He also was tired. But I would let him mash and get that power to the big leagues. He will hit the ball out of any ballpark that he ends up in, and it's not going to take him very long to get there. So I would just forget about the pitching, let him hit, and this is a guy who's going to hit 40 plus homers a year in a big league lineup within a couple of years.
The guy we joke with all the time is our skipper, Mark Kotsay. I played against Kotsay in college at Cal State Fullerton. A lot of people forget Golden Spikes, how great he was, but he'd come in against us and blow us away as the closer, come in from center field and blow it away. I always say, Kots, would have been fun to watch. All right, let's end on this. Number 4, what do you think with the A's at number 4?
I mean, it's weird to say because I know that they hadn't always done, the last 2 years with the lottery. It's not been their friend. So yes. people weren't thrilled. This year is a little bit better. Last year there was a clear top 5, so of course the A's got the 6th pick. This year, I think they're, depending on what they want to do, they're in a pretty good position to react to what happens above them. Yes, we've had Braden Montgomery in that spot a lot. It looks fairly certain that they're going to, look for a college hitter. It could be Jack Caglione, who we just talked about. It could be if Travis Bazzana drops to 4. JJ Weatherholt, I don't think is in their mix as much, but they could decide to look in that direction. Any of those things are possible because things are still so up in the air. They're kicking the tires on a couple of the college arms, Chase Burns and Hagen Smith, but I really think when push comes to shove, it's probably going to be Montgomery or Caglione. I'm going to keep sort of kicking this around when we get closer, when I start working on this Saturday night to sort of see where things are. But obviously knowing that the A's aren't going to know because no one really knows what's going to happen with Cleveland. So that's, adds to the sort of mystery and intrigue of it all, makes, projecting it a little bit more more difficult. But I think it's going to be one of those couple of guys. Nick Kurz from Wake Forest could be in that mix, although I've not heard his name as much. So if I had to decide right now, I'm finding my last mock, it would be Caglione or Montgomery based on what I have happening in the top 3.
Well, I'll tell you, you already got Jacob Wilson hitting 400 at every level. He's going to be here soon. You get another college bat, legit bat. I think A's fans are going to be real happy. You're going to be on the broadcast again on MLB Network, right?
No, I will not be on day 1. Jim will be carrying the MLB Pipeline banner proudly for us in the broadcast. I will be on day 2, which, remember, big leaguers happen, well beyond the first 2 rounds. So we do live pick by pick round 3 through 10. Comment will be myself, Jim Callis, and Melanie Newman, the terrific Orioles broadcaster, comes in and lends her expertise. She'll be on night 1 also and with us on day 2.
It's your time of year. It's going to be great. Have fun with this draft. Have a great broadcast. Can't wait to see who the A's get, who everybody's gets. It's interesting. It used to be in June. Now it's at the All-Star break. Try to highlight it more than ever before. So enjoy, because I know it's a special time for you.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Jonathan Mayo does a great job. Jordan Montgomery, outfielder. A lot of people thought could be real special. Could be, like you said, number 1.
Braden.
Hon?
Braden Montgomery.
I said Jordan Montgomery. You mean we're getting the left-hander from the Diamondbacks?
He's hurt. I don't want him. He's having a bad year, too. But, yeah, he said Montgomery or Caglione. Both, Caglione has good power. I think he had a solid year last year at Florida. And then, obviously.
I think everybody's out on the two-way guy.
Yeah, that didn't sound promising.
I think everybody's out on the two-way guy. I mean, it's just a reality, right? It sounded good. But,
Because, Montgomery was a two-way guy, too, at Stanford, and then it just lists him as an outfielder at A&M, so clearly he wasn't doing the two-way stuff
it's
at
just
A&M.
too hard. It's just too hard, and to stay healthy and to push that every single day. Like you wanted to see it. Once you saw it, then you started to realize the fatigue that takes over.
I still like the idea that we came up with that Ohtani becomes a closer. DHs, then goes down, 8th inning, 7th, 8th inning, warms up.
Or just gives you high leverage.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be
right?
a closer, but like a 7th or 8th inning guy. I mean, then again, that's a lot of money you're paying for a guy to not be a starter or like the guy that closes out the game, too. So essentially, do you pay him to do both? And
the days of him being a starting pitcher,
I think they're done.
Yeah.
He's had Tommy John twice.
His value right now is of a monster offensive player who's putting up historic type numbers. And if he can pitch high leverage 8th, 9th, whatever it is, that's where he helps you. If you think he's going to be pitching 3 times in a playoff series as a starter or even 2 times, how do you take his bat out? How do you take his bat out of the lineup? Look what they did when they put him as a leadoff hitter when Mookie Betts hurt his hand. I mean, amazing.
He's been, even now, he's still doing great. He had some, this is a family-friendly show, but he had a very strange celebration last night. If you haven't seen it, look it up on Twitter when he stole second base. It was very odd.
Who?
Ohtani. Our friends at John Boy, they tweeted out and it went viral of the celebration of Ohtani. We're a family-friendly show, so I won't say
he
what it
did
was.
something not family-friendly?
No, I even showed my wife, who was a Angels fan, Ohtani fan, was not. I would not think I'd be seeing Shohei Ohtani do that.
Can I see it?
I'll show you during the break before we get to Mark Kotsay. I'll show you what it looks like. I don't want to pull it up now. It's again family-friendly show.
Can't be that bad.
It involves a hand motion and below the belly button. I'll just leave it like that. You can use the context clues in your imagination. You know what? Fine. I'll see if I can find it. We won't play it on the show, but I'll see if I can find it.
It's that bad. Maybe I'm just being delicate about it. All right. Well, you are.
Here you go.
He's shaking out his glove.
I don't know.
Run the tape again. I love ripping Shohei Ohtani.
It's still funny if he is.
Yeah, well, I guess I can see from your dirty mind that you go to the gutter on a guy just trying to shake off his.
Well, see, ESPN wouldn't even go back to it. But no, John Boy Media are the ones that tweeted this out first.
Well, they're a bunch of sickos too.
This game was on ESPN last night. I'll say they won.
Go to it.
Go ahead and say it. They're gutless.
You guys.
Whoops.
By the way, this Johnny. Hey, Johnny, you're live on the air. Johnny, you're on the air. How are you? Say hi to all the A's fans.
It's actually a pretty muggy day. Not as muggy as yesterday, but it's a good day to win the series, I'll tell you that.
Hot take, we take 2 out of 3.
Hot take has been very hot of late, and my blazing hot take is the A's are going to have a winning road trip.
He did say that.
I know. I by the way, Mark Kotsay's coming up here at 3 o'clock. That's 6 o'clock your time. I'll call you back in 10 minutes, and I'll tell you that Mark Kotsay says Mason Miller's going to pitch in the game, so I got a chance. I'll call you in 10.
Go ahead.
Johnny D from the ballpark.
Matt Kawahara, our old friend from used to work for the Chronicle, now works at the Houston Chronicle. Joe Espada said he's being cautious by not starting Yordan Alvarez, and Alvarez could be available off the bench. I'm on full-on Alvarez watch to see if he bows out of the All-Star game and they could get Rook in.
I mean, where are they? Are they in Houston over the weekend? I mean, that's a quick little flight up to Arlington. I mean, do you really want to bow out? I mean, you want to be in the All-Star game.
Well, they're playing the Rangers at home starting tomorrow.
I mean, literally, you're going to hop on the flight with so this is what a lot of teams do. Like, we're going to hop on a flight with the Phillies guys. So probably the Astros guys will hop on the plane. Well, no, the Rangers will be on a charter. But a lot of guys will share flights, do that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you're a Houston Astro and you're like, dude, I mean, you don't bow out of the game in Arlington, and that's a quick little flight.
I mean, Tucker and Altuve are both out because of injury. So maybe Alvarez.
Yeah, but they're still going to show up.
Yeah, I think they'll be there. I'm saying Bauer's like he's not going to play in the game. Like they'll still be there. But I'm just looking at it because Rooker could be the guy who replaces him as the DH.
Since this is our last show, we will wait till after the All-Star break. Let's see what they do, and let's see how everything rates. Because we know last year was like the lowest rated All-Star game of all time, correct?
It was, I
think of all time.
Yeah.
We know the NBA All-Star game was a mess, was awful, was nothing. Like people have said, let's stop playing the game. The Pro Bowl doesn't even play the game anymore. And then you got hockey. They don't know what they want to do.
They do skills, but they play like 3-on-3 games.
International versus, I mean, North America. They're it all jumped the shark when we stopped wanting to wear our own jerseys. They started, we want to sell, well, for you and your hockey, you wear sweaters.
In the barn.
Yeah, in a barn, you wear sweaters. But they try to make money to where I've always enjoyed, I want to watch an A's player wear an A's uniform, white or gray at the All-Star. You're representing my organization. Call me old school.
No, I like that too.
So let's just see. Because then that's not going to be a small sample size. When we see the ratings of the World Series where you had two big markets, Dallas, Texas, and Phoenix, Arizona are two of the larger television markets in the country. They're both top 10.
But we'll sell it as Arizona's small market.
No. They are not a small television market. And then if we have another All-Star game that tanks in the ratings, so we can look at the All-Star gala parties and we can look at everything that they put on, then we'll come back and we'll have a meeting of the minds here on A's Cast Live. We'll throw it to all of our friends, all those dirt bags who call into the A's Clubhouse show, and say, how do we fix it? How do we get you interested? How do we get you interested in the Midsummer Classic, a game that like 20 million people would watch on television back in the day? I want to know because I used to love the game. I used to love it. I love the All-Star game. I would always have like a barbecue and all my buddies would come over. Now, I'll be in Hawaii. I can watch it early, though. In Hawaii, it's going to come on early.
Yeah, well, you're 3 hours behind us, right?
Yeah.
And so
I'll be in the past.
Yeah. I'll be 6 hours ahead of you.
No, yeah. Yeah, I'll be 3. What time's the game start? Like 5 o'clock?
5 our time, yes. So it's usually 8.
Oh, I'll be 2 o'clock in Hawaii. I'll be in swim trunks in front of the TV probably. I'll tape it.
Watch it back, frame by frame.
I'll be fat guy on the beach by 2 o'clock. That's prime. I'll be fat guy on the beach.
I did tell my two things. With the All-Star game, it'll be interesting to see if the ratings go up because of if somehow they do say Skenes is starting and the whole Livy Dunn thing, then okay, there's a that could be a factor.
Did you hear the rumors?
No. What rumors?
That when Skenes gets traded, they're going to keep Livy Dunn in town. She's more popular than he is. She's a national champion gymnast, a social media influencer. She's more valuable to the Pirates than he is.
She could make them a lot of money.
Livy Dunn goes anywhere onto her social media accounts and talks Pittsburgh Pirates. It's bigger than him throwing 7 shutout no-hit innings. It's fact.
You're not wrong.
It's fact. She's better for the Pirates brand than Paul Skenes. I mean,
that's a hot take. Is that your take for next week?
You want to talk about Taylor Swift's effect on the NFL?
That's been pretty good.
Like my 18-year-old children who grew up, all my children know is Raiders. All they know is Raiders. That's all they've ever seen in their life is Raiders. I kept them from those dirtball Niner fans that live around me and my dirtball Niner friends. They've never worn Niner gear, never saw Niner gear. Everything my children have had since they were babies is Raider gear.
Now they're Chiefs fans?
Now they love Kelsey. And they don't even know who he is.
My wife goes, hey, Niners and Chiefs are playing. I want to go, but the game's really expensive. I'm like, you realize that's the rematch of the Super Bowl, right? She goes, oh, no, I figured Taylor Swift would be there. I'm like,
exactly.
You
can't. It's like it's real. Taylor Swift is such a powerhouse that she's bringing all these people. The NFL's like, bring it on, baby. We need Taylor Swift to date Zach Geloff or Lawrence Butler.
Or anyone.
Wait, she's a little older than they. Who's Taylor Swift's age single on our team?
Taylor Swift's like my age, so she'll be 30. She'll be 35 this year. Yeah, 35.
She's 35.
She'll be I think she'll be 35.
I remember her as like a little
a
teenager.
She's born in '89, so she'll be 35 this year. So yeah, anyway, I don't know how many years.
Somebody's gonna have to get divorced to start dating Taylor. So you got to follow in the.
There's only a few guys that are old enough, like T.J. McFarland, Brownie.
Okay. If you want me to do it, because I am a loyal servant of the organization. Have I not been? I've done everything this organization wants of me. I'm driving up tonight to Oakland to host a Ricky Henderson event. Whatever the organization needs, if you need me to dump my wife and start dating Taylor Swift for the best of the A's, I will do it. I will do it.
I was gonna say, when we're talking about the Niners Chiefs game, if you don't think my wife's gonna go to that, she spent a lot of money to go to Scotland this year. I think she's gonna spend money to go see the Niners play.
Do you remember when do you ever watch 24, the TV show?
No, but I know what it is.
When Jack Bauer he had to get addicted to drugs to help save the world. I will oust my wife and date Taylor Swift if it will be the best for the A's organization.
Well, your wife could give you a hall pass.
My wife might. She might care. She loves Taylor Swift so much she might be all in. And next thing you know, we'll have Taylor at the games, and everybody loves the A's. It'll be the Swifties would all become A's fans. Yeah, I'll fall on that sore. She'll dump Kelsey, and then I'm going to have to deal with him, and he's the load, he and his brother and their podcast.
Well, at least his brother's retired now.
I love his brother's one of the great centers in the history of the game.
He's a great personality too. You know.
Well, they're great players. I mean,
Yeah.
both of them are NFL Hall of Fame players.
Can you imagine? Because he loved being at Bills Mafia and Bills games. Can you imagine him and Fran Reardon putting each other through a table at a Bills tailgate? I'd pay to see that.
Now the Kelseys both went to Cincinnati. They're
Yes.
Bearcats.
Yeah.
Are they from Ohio?
Yeah, they're from the Cincinnati area.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, they're both from.
That says a lot. If you've ever been to Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's from Westlake, Ohio, which is by Cleveland area. But I think, but they're from Ohio.
He's 34. I'm a lot older than Taylor.
And Jason, I think, is.
And next thing you know, she's going to write an album about me. I mean, this will really affect my life. What I'm about to do for all you people. I do it for you. Be awful for me. I'd do it for you. And the rest of you. What do I get out of it? I mean, she's got to be a pain.
I don't know.
You become that rich and that powerful. Everybody who's that rich. No, I mean, oh, they're the nicest people when you're that rich. I mean, you got that much going on. All the security, and it's just, you just can't go down to the grocery store.
No. Well, there's the jokes are she would fly her private jet there.
Then again, she could be buying me all the golf memberships I want.
Yeah, you could be a member.
All right, if you set it up, I will do it. I'll date Taylor. If I got to date Taylor Swift, I'll be the one who does it.
And then we find out, hey, well, no, he's unavailable. He's golfing Pebble this weekend.
He's down to Pebble. We'd be doing the show from Pebble.
That'd be fine with that. Pebble's nice.
Yeah, go down to Pebble Beach, play Pebble, Spyglass. Well, then, she'd get me all the memberships. Monterey Peninsula. It's part of the...
That's one we went by when we left, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would love... Now there's one membership. I don't know if she could get us in. We'll keep away from that. Monterey Peninsula, we could get in with her.
Not to change subjects, do you think Johnny D's waiting by the phone for you to call him back?
Oh, that's right.
I'm just saying, do you think he's waiting? I can see Johnny being that guy like, oh, when's he going to call? When's he going to call?
Yeah.
Make him wait.
Maybe Taylor would buy me a house down at Pebble, and we just do everything from Pebble.
By Jim Nance's old house.
I love it. See? Now we're talking.
And then Nance can get you.
I don't get Jim Nance.
No, then Nance can bring you on the game with Romo, and then you guys will be a three-man booth.
I'm not traveling to cold ass anywhere during the NFL season. I live in Pebble Beach with Taylor Swift.
They can hear you start going, he's going to score, Jim.
That was really good. Tony Romo up in Tahoe right now. Oh, how good is Tahoe right now for the celebrity golf tournament?
Well, we know why Ray isn't around because Aaron Rodgers is up there. So,
oh my God, those guys are living the dream. Mark Kotsay, the manager of your A's, next, right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the games. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. They have a new spring menu with special dishes and a full bar with new delicious spring cocktails. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
It's summertime, and I can guarantee you probably need to redo your wardrobe. You want to look good, and you want to feel comfortable. This is Chris Townsend, and you got to go check out my friends at Link Soul. They've got all the finest fabrics. You're going to love the shirts, the polos, the shorts, you name it. Redo your look for summertime. Go to linksoul.com right now, and you can get an offer for 20% off. Remember, in the big leagues, to play good, you got to look good.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This is the place where you could dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
The Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check out their location in the Bay Area, or you go online to nestbedding.com for your mattress, your pillows, your sheets, all your bedding needs, all the way in Fenway Park. Mark Kotsay, how are you?
I'm doing well. You're right. We are out on the East Coast, and in this heat, humidity, it's definitely a different summer out here than it is back home.
No doubt about it. And when you're playing in a historical place like that, and it was really cool yesterday, we had Mason Miller on the show. He went to the top of the Green Monster and did the interview. But it's like whether you're in Fenway or right around Fenway and you're going to restaurants or the bars, whatever, everything is so old, it feels like you go back in time.
Yeah, I was here in 2008 as a home side player. So, used to the kind of the surroundings, right? And sometimes you take it for granted. But the last 2 days, I've actually walked to the ballpark from our hotel on Newberry. It's quite a walk. And I can tell you that I have blisters from today's walk with new shoes on. But we do hold a level of superstitions. And yesterday, the walk to the ballpark created a W, so I had to repeat it.
You put different shoes on, right?
Today I did, and that's thus the blisters. Yes, more of a dress shoe today because we're traveling. Got to look nice, and represent the ball club. But forgot that they'd never been worn, and definitely have some blisters on the back of the heels.
Not a veteran move, but it's all right. That might pay off. Good luck. By the way, you're not walking to Arlington in the All-Star game, are you?
No. Blessed to be going first off, and I'm actually grabbing a ride, not an Uber, but a plane ride with the Phillies. They've been kind enough to invite Mason and myself to travel with them. They have quite a few All-Stars, so I think they chartered a plane, and again, extended the invitation to take Mason and myself to Texas with them.
How happy are you knowing the journey and everything Mason Miller has been through that he is going to be an All-Star?
It's great. Really excited for him. Really hoping that he has that opportunity to pitch an inning in the All-Star game, which I'm pretty sure he will. And just to be there to support him, be a part of it with him in this journey means a great deal to me.
How nice would it be if you could get Rooker on that plane?
Yeah, it'd be great. Obviously it's out of our hands. MLB does the additional roster moves once the roster's been set. If guys aren't able to play, if there's injury, if they opt out for whatever reason, Major League Baseball adds any additional players. So, there's still a few days left, and anything can happen.
What has he done to change to become the hitter that's more than just the home run strikeout guy? I mean, he's now hitting over 280. What have been the big changes for him?
I don't know if there's been big changes. I mean, I think that he's just constantly getting better as a hitter. You look at his collegiate career, he was a complete hitter. Obviously last season, there was probably more swing and miss than there has been this season. He's still striking out at a good clip, but when he puts the ball in play, he's getting hits, and that's the change, right? That's something that's different. So he, you could call it an approach change, but I don't think anything mechanically. He looks the same, setups the same, loads the same. When he stays connected, he's really good, and that's where he's at right now.
I compared it the other day to Reggie Jackson because everybody knows Reggie hit bombs, A's Hall of Famer, and Reggie struck out a lot. But Reggie's career average is like 262, and there are a lot of years that he hit in the 290s, if not 300. Yeah, when he didn't strike out, he got hits. He either hit home runs, doubles, or base hits. So you can strike out a lot if you still hit.
Yeah, 100%, and that's where Rooker is right now. His production is front line, and I think, like you talk about, the two strike, putting the ball in play. It's not a defensive put the ball in play. He's still swinging the bat, and it's fun to watch.
All right, so this will run during the All-Star break. So kind of talking about what you kind of look at the second half. Do you have a message to the team? Do you have a meeting? What is the plan? What will you say to guys on their way out as everybody needs to go recharge their batteries?
I appreciate you asking, but that's something that's thought about during the break. I'm still preparing for a Philly series this weekend.
Yeah.
It's a tough club. The Dodgers have already lost 2 in Philly. They're trying tonight not to get swept there. So my mind's really just focused on the next 4 games, tonight being, the last in Boston, trying to win this series here, and then getting to that All-Star game. I know I'll take those next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, to really focus on the second half and what we want to get accomplished, and both collectively as a team, and then the individual messages that I'm going to bring guys in and talk about.
One guy that you can count on in the second half, and you can't say enough, is JP Sears. How he has thrown the ball for you lately, and you try and tell the fans, listen, not every start's going to be perfect. There's going to be good runs. There's going to be some stinkers. There's going to be some in-betweens. but there is such a huge value in our game for someone like you to know I got at least one guy that I know is going every 5 days. Tell us just the value that JP Sears brings to you.
Yeah, you don't really think a ton about JP. As a manager, you obviously check in, but it's very comfortable to just have a guy that is going to post, that is going to go out and compete, his tail off. And like you said, I mean, there are going to be starts when it doesn't go well, but JP over the last year and a half now has made every start. He's been pretty darn consistent with what you're going to get. And last night he went out against the tough Boston lineup and got us into the 6th inning and came within 1 out of completing 6 full innings. And we ran him to his highest pitch count last night, knowing that he wasn't going to have another start before the break and he'll have an extended period of rest. So he pushed through it. He grinded and threw the ball great last night.
Yeah, you're looking at some guys. It kind of seems like the light's starting to go on a little bit. And one, obviously, is the birthday boy, only turning 24 years old. What have you been seeing in Lawrence Butler?
Yeah, we brought him in Arizona and talked about the type of hitter that we asked him the question, who do you want to be? If there's a hitter in baseball right now or previous to play the game, whether it's like a guy like King Griffey Jr., name a guy that you want to emulate, that you see yourself as a hitter going forward. And he came back the next day. He said, look, I think it's Juan Soto. I said, okay, so let's watch what Juan Soto does. And we compared the two, and, it was pretty evident that Law was getting, moving forward ahead. There was a lot of head movement to it, and Soto keeps his head pretty still. And I think that gives him the best ability to have success. And we've made that adjustment with Law. He's made that adjustment, which is great to see a young player have that open mind and be willing to make change in the big leagues. And since he's done that, I think you've seen the results.
Yeah, well, we see in all the sports, if you're hitting something, moving the head and the eyes and the brain all around is not a great thing.
Yeah, no, it isn't. Especially when you're moving forward at a pitcher, you're speeding everything up for yourself and making it really difficult to hit something that you said is moving or changing speeds, changing direction.
And I think about Shea Langoliers. Shea Langoliers, a lot of home runs, starting to hit a little bit more. Talk about offense as a catcher when you have one of the biggest responsibilities of being like the quarterback and running the pitching staff. I mean, offense, Ray Fosse always taught us, you got to do your job as a catcher. The offense is a bonus. Just talk about the growth of Shea Langoliers.
Yeah, I think the growth as a hitter, you're seeing some of that right now. He's really focused on trying to cut the strikeout down. He's made some adjustments again with Darren over the last 5-7 days. Excuse me. And but again, like you talk about, his main primary responsibility is to handle those 13 pitchers, to go out and make sure the game plan is solid and stay on the game plan. And that's Lang. Lang's done a great job. He continues to get better. We're seeing so much growth from him defensively as well. It's just nice to see him have some success on the offensive side, because it can wear on you mentally. But I've never seen him take an at bat out to behind the plate.
That's hard to do.
Really hard to do. I know. When failure happens offensively, my mindset was to go out and really just take away any hits possible. So I played angry defense, really.
Because catcher, you got to keep a cool head. You got to let that go. You're now calling the pitches. We had Scott Emerson on the program bring a pitch comm over. I mean, you've got pitch comm going. You got to be on your game mentally when you're behind the dish.
Yeah, you really do. The game's fast back there. I think that's why you see so many catchers become managers. They really know how to slow it down. They're methodical in their processes. They plan ahead. They think through things before they happen. And I think that's, it's a position that demands the ability to keep a clear head and to stay focused.
Well, you got to get ready for this All-Star game. They got all the fancy stuff going on. You're going to have to wear a suit. I'm sure the wife is fired up to get all dressed up. You guys are going to have a good time in Arlington.
Yeah, we're hopeful to have a good time. It's first experience for us, and excited to take it all in and try to, as you say, try to take advantage of all the events and activities and make sure we don't miss anything. I know Trey's pretty fired up about, being able to come to the Home Run Derby and be out there and meet some of these, all-stars for the first time. And, we're just really looking forward to it.
Is he going to shag during the Home Run Derby?
I don't think so. I think he's just going to hang out and like I said, watch the show, really.
It's going to be unbelievable. Have a great time. Thank you so much for everything here in this first half. Hopefully you get some rest at some point, and then we tee it up and we get on the back nine and let's go get it.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, Towny.
The Mark Kotsay Show brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. That's it. Hard to believe. The first half for us, A's Cast Live, is over. 2024 first half in the books. When we come back July 22nd, by the way, we got you covered during the All-Star break. We have so much programming going on here on A's Cast Live. So if you're jonesing for baseball, come to A's Cast. We have 9 hours of a recap of the first half. 9 hours?
9. It'll actually be over 9 hours. 9 hours of that. We have all the new Mark Kotsay show. The Farm with Bill Moriarty.
Yeah.
I just updated Vince Cotronio's greatest moments in Oakland history. There's 6 parts of that you can consume on AceCast or downloading athletics.com/AceCast or wherever you get your podcast. So a lot of content. And plus all of our video stuff is on YouTube as well. YouTube.com/athletics.
Well, since you're going on vacation, this was our last show until the second half.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna.
I'll take notes tomorrow in Philly.
We'll all go on vacation since you're going on vacation. You were the first one who requested it. We had to honor it, and we all said, "Well, if Cody's going on vacation," I told my wife, "Well, if Cody's going on vacation, I guess we should go on vacation."
Your vacation is way not cooler than mine.
Doesn't matter. You requested vacation first.
I'm just glad I'm going somewhere.
I'm just a humble servant.
Well, we're all gonna enjoy some time off.
So everybody enjoy the All-Star break. Enjoy the time. Enjoy one more game at Fenway, 3 at Philadelphia. But enjoy the All-Star break for A's Cast Live. We'll be back July 22nd when we take on the Astros and those dirt balls.
We haven't caught up with Sparksy yet this year, so I can't wait to. We haven't talked to Sparksy.
The knuckleballer?
Yeah, so we'll have to grab him and. We already talked to Blummer, but. That's fine. We'll get Sparksy. Oh, we talked to Josh Reddick because he was filling in for Sparksy.
Shreddick.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Coming up next, we're getting you ready for the rubber game of the 3-game set, Fenway Park. It's the Athletics. It's the Red Sox next, right here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Tops on social media and visit tops.com for more information.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
It's summertime, and I can guarantee you probably need to redo your wardrobe. You want to look good, and you want to feel comfortable. This is Chris Townsend, and you got to go check out my friends at Link Soul. They've got all the finest fabrics. You're going to love the shirts, the polos, the shorts, you name it. Redo your look for summertime. Go to linksoul.com right now, and you can get an offer for 20% off. Remember, in the big leagues, to play good, you got to look good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
The underdogs Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.